Yeah, I've been looking at the news. I've been looking on social media, and I just had to tap in real quick to say this one thing to social media. People are out here sending people off with ICE. Got to get people out of this country that don't belong in this country because they're here illegally. Let me tell you something, America. The people that you're sending with ICE is not your issue. Your issue are American born and raised people. Okay, your issue is this country have a bunch of oppressed people turning in literally in front of our eyes into a third world country. People can't afford to eat, they can't afford to live, they can't afford to pay for school, they can't afford to pay for health care. And when you have oppressed people, this is the type of shit that happens. All this shit that we see, all of this gun violence, all of this losing minds, it's happening because people just don't know how to be anymore. Tupac told us a long time ago back in the 90s. He told us that oppression, when you stepping on people's neck, they're going to eventually kick in doors and stuff. This is how it all starts. So while y'all sitting in y'all mansions and looking at TV or sitting in your penthouses on the 51st floor, wherever you at in America, on Capitol Hill, in the House and the Senate, in the Supreme Court, in the governor's mansions, wherever the you guys sit at, look at the fallout of your bullshit choices. Look at the fallout. America is falling apart. When I tell you America is number one ghetto, that the world look at us and laugh because we're a joke. I mean, for real, I can't even tolerate TikTok no more. Everything has changed. It's like we went to sleep in 2020 and woke up to apocalypse. And things have never gotten better and they steady getting worse. Welcome to America. This is America.
Alright, so hey, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakak, Wadash. Yahweh to this world ignorantly calls God. Yahushai to this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Ba'ashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Qudash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. Also, want to give double honor to the outer bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. And as you heard that woman in the video, hey, this shit's going down. And, there's a lot of things I can pinpoint in that video. But the biggest thing that, jumped at my attention was the fact that she was saying that, everything is failing. Everything is failing. The people are working 2 or 3 jobs to barely survive. And she said that the people don't even know how to be alive anymore, don't even know how to be. And let's first start with this point. In Luke chapter 23 and verse 31, it says, "For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall be done in the dry?" Right, and this was Yahweh Shai talking about how, if all these evils are happening right now, while, everything is good, so-called good. And when I say that everything is good, I'm saying that because, off the basis of you can still, go find a normal 9 to 5 job, make money, find rent, find food, find water, find shelter, find a woman. You can still do all these things, right? Go get fast food, a $2 burger. Okay, things are still accessible, right? So right now, this is the green tree. So if they're doing all these evils and suffering and complaining in the green tree, how much more shall be done in the dry? What is going to be done in the dry when all this actually collapses and food and water is not accessible? Right, just think about that. If you're bugging, these people are bugging out right now. Just imagine how bad it's going to be when everything actually falls. And, the answer is that it's not going to be pretty. As it says in Matthew, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Right, so let's get that. Iniquity. Matthew chapter 24 and verse 12, it says, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." Right, so what is iniquity? Iniquity is sin upon sin. Right, so as wickedness starts increasing, the love of people is going to disappear. People are going to stop being charitable, stop, smiling, stop having hope in this place. And, that ties into Isaiah 19 perfectly when it says that, the hope of this place, the patriotism, the fact that people believe that this is the superpower, that America is the best, all that is going to be destroyed. Right, this is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 3 says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I'll destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards." Right, so that spirit of Egypt, that spirit of, oh, this is America, right, this is America, we're the best, all that is going to fail. Where we're entering times where the average person is going to be completely depressed. The average person would rather commit suicide than to keep on living in this existence. Okay, and the reason that, this kingdom has gotten to that point is because of the rulers that are ruling this place, right? The wicked, the Edomites. And as it says in Ecclesiasticus, as the ruler is, so are the people, right? So if we got a wicked ruler, the people are going to be wicked, right? And what does wickedness produce, right? It produces death, right? Once, as it says, I think it's in Romans or in the New Testament, it says that, once sin is accomplished, it bringeth forth death, right? And what is wickedness? Just sin. So, we live in a society that is wicked, and that's why you see all these people, suffering, all these people, being treated badly. Because, think about the opposite. If this was a righteous kingdom, people wouldn't be complaining, right? We would have, people would have lives. And I'm not just talking about, wake up and go work your job and that's it. What we live today is not life. Okay, this is slavery. I'm talking about waking up, being able to actually enjoy your wife. And when I say that, I mean if she's in an actual, feminine spirit, and you don't got to deal with these dragons out here, these what these people call women, right? So you wake up to a woman in a right mindset, just that is a massive thing, right? You wake up and you can actually enjoy your children, right? Your children are acting righteous, okay, not giving you a headache, okay? You wake up and you can drink fresh water, not water with fluoride, okay? You eat animals that are not contaminated with GMOs or pumped hormones, right? Everything is natural and in the right order, right? That's life. And, we are completely away from that. Okay, we live in literally the worst of the worst. That's something you also have to think about, is that we right now live in the worst time, the worst wicked kingdom that the world has ever seen. We are living in it right now. Right? If there was ever a climax of a movie, we're in it right now. We're at the end of the end. And you can see why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua has to come back to destroy this place, because imagine if this goes on for another 100 years, right? I couldn't even possibly imagine the wickedness that they conjure up, right? It'd probably get to a point where you can't even distinguish, a man and a woman, right? From birth, they're doing surgeries on you. They'll look at your DNA composition and just decide for you that, oh, no, you're not a man anymore. You're a woman because, the DNA says so. And, Salakia for rambling for so long and not pulling the scriptures. I'm trying to get better on that, but the Spirit just saw me to, spit my mind. But it also came out recently that I remember seeing it a while back how, they're going to use AI software to essentially, read your brain waves. And, the AI software will be used to read your brain waves and associate your brain waves with potential brain waves of terrorists, right? So an easier explanation of that is, they'll look at your mind and be like, oh, this guy has tendencies to be a terrorist. He has tendencies for addiction. He has tendencies for this. And just off that, before you did anything, they'll lock you up. They'll be like, no, you're going to commit, a terrorist attack or a homicide in the future. So we locked you up early because of what the brain waves were telling me. Right? That sounds like some made up shit, but yeah, I made a video about it like a year ago, right? You can literally search it up. Okay, they have that technology. So, hey, this is why Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua got to come back, because this thing is only going to get worse and worse. And as it says, the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof. Right? These people are going to completely lose all hope in this society. Now, another point that she brought up was, oh no, because we had Tupac telling us about this. Right? And I heard that, and I'm like, this woman, because here it is, you know, Tupac is just a random nigga in the street, right? And they look at these niggas, you know, these rappers, these celebrities as idols, you know, as messiahs, you know, as divine guidance. When in actuality you look at Tupac's life, and he was a wicked ass nigga, right? Committing adultery left and right. So she looks at Tupac as a prophet, but really disregards the true prophets, is the point I'm getting at. Right? Here it is, you know, the Lord has sent out the true prophets to tell you what is coming, right? To warn you, but she doesn't want to listen. Right? She'd rather listen, oh, Tupac told us. Hey, the prophet's been out here telling you for over 40 years what's coming, and you just disregard it. Oh yeah, those guys on the streets. When we're telling you that, hey, think about that. 40 years ago, Apostle Tahar was out there talking about the mark of the beast is the chip. And here it is 40 years later, Elon Musk is with the technology, Neuralink. Okay? Hey, the prophets are out here. And hey, Lord willing, I'm a part of that number. Once you really understand that, it's insane because once you really sit down, right? If you sit down, you really, you know, just think to yourself, you look at the scriptures, you analyze them, you realize that this shit's actually happening. You know, sometimes you just have to have that, you have to tell yourself that, like, hey, this is actually happening. We're actually living out, you know, these words. These words are real. They're living. We're actually in Babylon the Great that it talks about in this page right in front of me. You know, the most wicked kingdom. We're actually seeing the mark of the beast, the chip, you know, being slowly pushed forth, as it says in Revelation 13:16. You know, we're actually living these things. And Yahushua said that, hey, you know, many men have desired to see the things that he have seen and have not seen them, right? So we're really blessed because, you know, imagine all the prophets, all the righteous men that, hey, they lived out their lives prophesying and waiting for these times, and they never saw them. You know, they passed away. So, you know, just the fact that we're living, you know, you're living in a time where you might see Yahushua come back. You know, I think I'll live to see Yahushua come back, you know, just speaking as a man. I think that Yahushua is coming back, you know, very soon. Because how much longer can this go for? You know, we already have the MOTB technology set up. We already have the, you know, the war game already set up with Israel and Iran. You know, everything is already in play. It's just all we need is one drastic just T attack, if you know what I'm talking. Another 9/11 event that will snowball everything into effect, the new system, the new everything. You know, maybe a cyber attack, destroy this system and bring in the new. Something big is going to happen, and after there, the prophecies are just going to start rolling and rolling and rolling, and we're going to be out of here soon. So let's read this in Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 30. It says, also, thou son of man, the children of thy people still are talking against thee by the walls and in the doors of the houses, and speak one to another, every one to his brother, saying, come, I pray you, and hear what is the word that cometh forth from Yahweh. And they come unto thee as the people cometh, and they sit before thee as my people, and they hear thy words, but they will not do them. For with their mouth they show much love, but their heart goeth after their covetousness. And lo, thou art unto them as a very lovely song of one that hath a pleasant voice and can play well on an instrument, for they hear thy words, but they do them not. Right, and that's 2/3 of the nation of Israel on this side. Right, that's been our people since inception. Right, the Lord said that, hold on, these people are stiff-necked, hard-headed, rebellious. Right, they don't want to listen to me. So it's the same thing today. You know, here it is, we're trying to tell you how to survive, you know, how to escape this coming destruction. And they think that, you know, we're out here speaking fairy tales, you know, that we're out here just joking around. You know, we're not out here joking around. I don't make a video every single day and do everything I have to do every single day in my read. I'm not doing this shit to fuck around, man. You know, this shit is 100% serious. And as it says in verse 33, and when this is coming to pass, lo, it will come, then shall they know that a prophet hath been among them. Right, so hey, once this shit starts popping off, hey, these people are going to realize, hold up, you know, that guy was actually speaking some sense. You know, he wasn't just, you know, a foolish man. He wasn't crazy. You know, he was a prophet the entire time. But guess what? In that day, you know, it's going to be too late. Amos chapter 8 and verse 11. You know, one of my favorite scriptures. Because, there's going to be a judgment for all the mocking and scoffing that is happening right now. Amos chapter 8 and verse 11, Behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. Right? So, just wait. Just wait. Right now, these people are talking about, the Hebrew Israelites, this and that, making TikTok videos, talking shit. But just wait. This train, man. But just wait, man. Just wait when everything starts popping off. Everybody's going to come asking those questions. But, hey, deal with the Lord. We're done doing our work. And, I could tell that, this word is going to gain notoriety, as it says. We're going to get praise and fame in all the land, right? So there's going to be a time where the prophets, this word, the gospel is really shown forth 100%. Okay, there's going to be a time where the Hebrew Israelites are going to be on CNN, on Fox News, on ABC, okay, and national television. So, hey, we're living in some beautiful times, and the one thing about this woman is that she knows it's just falling, but she doesn't have a solution. And that's a lot of people out here, is that they can tell that everything is coming down, but they don't know what they're going to do. And the answer has been in front of you the entire time. Follow Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakudash. Keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahushai. So, I'll leave it there. Hopefully this is edifying. With that, I give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rakakudash, and double honors to the elder bishops and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth. Shalom to you, like Shalom.